If you're nowhere near close to achieving your weight loss goal so far this year, or you're stuck, you've hit the dreaded weight loss plateau, then you're in luck. Today, I'm gonna share with you the top 5 reasons that I see that cause people to stop losing weight and what to do instead so you can finally start losing weight again. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students inside my Fat Loss Accelerator program, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Mistake number 1. You're still eating too much carbs. I mention this point a lot in my videos because this is such a low-hanging fruit, pun intended, that you can adjust if you ever find yourself stuck on a weight loss plateau, and it works every single time. And for this to make sense, you need to know a little bit about basic human physiology. And this will fly in the face of a lot of experts and macro coaches out there who thinks that you can just plug in your food in a calorie tracker and call it a day. It doesn't work like that. Your body is a little bit more complex than that. So, the reason why eating carbs is such a weight loss killer is that carbs, especially refined carbs and sugar, is the macronutrient that causes the highest release of the storing hormone insulin in your body. This is important because insulin is what controls your body weight. If your insulin levels are high, it locks up your fat stores so it can't be used as a source of energy. Here's another key concept. You can either be a sugar burner or you can be a fat burner. You can't do both. You can't burn a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It doesn't work like that. The hormone insulin is what controls this process. Like I said, it's not just calories in versus calories out. So again, if your insulin levels are high, you can't access your body fat and burn it for energy. You just can't. It gets locked away and you just keep accumulating it. If you eat the opposite of a high carb diet, so a low carb diet, then that's gonna moderate your insulin levels, it unlocks your fat stores, and you can easily burn them for energy. That means you won't be as hungry, you'll have more energy, and you won't experience intense cravings in between meals because you have your entire fat stores available as immediate fuel. Because at any given time, you have about 100,000 calories of stored energy waiting to be used. I mean, again, I say this every time, body fat is not just there for looks. This awesome metabolic state is called metabolic flexibility. Now I have to mention this. Protein can be insulinogenic as well, but it also activates your satiety hormone, so you're kind of protected there. Like, it's extremely hard to overeat on steak, for example. But when it comes to carbs and sugar, like, I don't know, eating cookies, there's no limit. While fat stimulates insulin the least, which means that you want to revolve your diet around high fat, moderate protein, and low carb meals. Are you with me so far? And no, fat doesn't make you fat, even though it's more calorically dense. Like fat, for example, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, while carbs and protein only carries 4 calories per gram. This is why fat gets demonized, but those numbers don't matter as much as you think, because fat actually delivers 4 times as much energy when it gets broken down. Again, it's not just about the calories. You have no calorie counter in your stomach anyway, which is actually mistake number 2. You're just cutting calories. So when you go and cut calories, but you're still eating a high carb meal, and this also includes healthier options like brown rice or whole wheat bread. By the way, because your body still has to produce the same amount of insulin to digest it while also being high in anti-nutrients, which slows down the absorption of vitamins and minerals in your body and causes autoimmune and digestive problems like leaky gut. So if you eat those foods, if you're still eating a lot of carbs and you just cut calories because you think it's calories in versus calories out, you are literally putting your body in a state of semi-starvation. And you'll lose weight at the beginning when you do this. So far so good, right? But not for long, because as your body responds to this lower level of nutrition, let's say your basal metabolic rate or BMR is 2,000 calories. That's the amount of calories your body burns at rest just to keep the lights on. If you go on a calorie deficit of 1,500 calories, let's say, but you're eating a lot of highly insulin stimulating foods like carbs and sugar, your body, and this is a huge mistake that a lot of people just assume, doesn't just make up that 500 calorie difference from your fat stores. Because again, high insulin from eating a lot of insulinogenic foods blocks fat burning. So your body, again, literally goes through a state of semi-starvation. So what does it do to protect itself? Well, it lowers your BMR to 1,500 calories or less to match this 1,500 calorie deficit. This is why you see some people, they're eating like 1,200 calories every day. They're always tired, they're hungry all the time, they have no energy, and they're barely eating anything, and they're eating a lot of highly processed, low fat and low calorie versions of foods, which are also full in sugar, and they're not losing weight. And not only is it harder to lose weight as you cut calories, it's actually so much easier to gain weight as well. Again, Hypothetically speaking, let's say your BMR drops from 2,000 calories to 1,500 calories. Not only will this cause a plateau when it comes to your decrease in BMR, but it's also going to be so much easier for your body to gain back all that weight because it's now burning less energy at rest, which means that it's going to take less food than before to gain back all that weight. And nothing illustrates this flawed model more than the show The Biggest Loser. If you've never seen it before, they take a bunch of these overweight and obese contestants and they put them on massive calorie deficits. They're barely eating anything and they put them in extreme workouts and they lose weight while they're at the show. But after they're done the show and there's never been a reunion show, they put all the weight back on because they all have an extremely slow metabolism. Calorie counting simply doesn't work long term. And if this has been your method of weight loss so far this year, you already know this to be true. Mistake number 3, you still believe in the 0-calorie myth. And this ties back again into the calorie restriction model and that you think it's all about the calories. I'm talking about any diet version of any drink or any drink that's branded as 0 calories but is artificially sweetened. And this is the greatest thing if you count calories, because here you are presented with something that tastes like the real deal but has 0 calories. All you need to know about drinking diet soda is that it promotes weight gain instead of weight loss. Some studies even link it directly to obesity, which means that the more you drink this stuff, and this stuff is highly addicting, I know because I used to drink this stuff, the higher the likelihood you become obese. Why? Because artificial sweeteners destroys our gut microbiome. Just think about it this way. We evolved as human beings 2.5 million years ago. Aspartame, the first artificial sweetener, was invented in 1965. Diet Coke came out in 1982, so that's only 38 years ago. Simply put, our bodies simply haven't evolved to process this stuff. Like our Paleolithic ancestors didn't drink diet soda. This stuff is completely foreign to our gut microbiome. That's why it makes us fat. Unfortunately, this concept also applies to the natural sweetener stevia. I know, I probably just broke your heart, but I'm gonna level with you on this because I fought tooth and nail before I gave up this stuff. I had so much resistance to it, which means that I was probably addicted. I used to put it in my coffee and I drank multiple cups during the day. And I also drank Zevia, which is a soda that's sweetened with stevia. And I was also stuck. I wasn't losing weight. And I never bothered to point the finger on it because again, I thought it was better. But here's the thing. All artificial sweeteners, and this includes stevia, triggers the cephalic response in your body. It's when your body thinks that there's food coming in. So when you drink diet soda, for example, or you put stevia in your coffee, you taste something sweet. So what your brain does is that it sends signals down to your pancreas to start producing insulin because again, insulin is a storing hormone in anticipation to store all the food that's about to come in. So yes, it's 0 sugar, so it's a little bit better, but it still triggers an insulin response, which puts your body in fat storage mode. And that's another key concept that you need to understand. Just because something isn't as bad for you doesn't mean that it's good for you. Nothing that sweet gets a free pass once it enters your system. By the way, side note, if you've been following my channel and you've started intermittent fasting, so that's awesome, but you're someone who drinks this stuff during your fast, you're inadvertently breaking your fast. Because again, the cephalic phase triggers an insulin response. You're putting your body in fat storage mode during your fast. So if you're already fasting and you're not losing weight and you've hit a weight loss plateau, this is why. You need to cut it out. Now give this video a like if you just learned something new right there. Still not convinced? There's a study out there where simply putting artificial sweeteners in your mouth and spitting it out, you don't even need to swallow it. And you can make a lot of jokes about what I just said. That was enough to trigger an insulin response when the researchers measured plasma insulin levels. I felt so betrayed when I first discovered that, but it was also such a revelation because I finally knew what I was doing wrong. Oh my God. Number 4, you're not eating enough. This ties back to the first couple of mistakes in that number 1, you're still eating too much carbs, which are extremely nutrient deficient and not satiating. And number 2, you're cutting calories. Satiety plays a massive role when it comes to losing weight. When you don't eat until you're satisfied, it causes your body to crave a quick hit of fuel and therefore increase that sugar craving. And this should sound familiar if you're still eating a lot of carbs and you're following the calorie restriction protocol. And come mid-morning or mid-afternoon, you're crashing. This is a great example of that, and you can only fight those cravings for so long. So this isn't even a matter of willpower. You're literally fighting against your hormones. You're fighting against your physiology, and your physiology will always win. And this will inevitably lead to snacking on those highly processed carbs like chips, cookies, protein bars, and meal replacement shakes. To make sure you don't get these cravings, you want to focus on eating until you're satiated, and you're focusing on building your diet around healthy fats and protein because they both activate your satiety hormones to help keep you full and satisfied in between meals. Number 5, you're constantly snacking throughout the day. I have such a big issue with this advice that a lot of so-called experts give out because this is a one-way ticket to hitting a weight loss plateau. This is all bro science. Like, there is no scientific research out there that proves that eating 6 small meals a day is somehow beneficial for weight loss. Think about it this way. If you eat the same amount of calories, but one is spread out like 6 or 7 throughout the day versus just eating 2 or 3 bigger meals throughout the day, there is a huge physiological difference with how your body responds to it. When you're eating those small meals throughout the day, that means you're always constantly having a stream of food coming in, which means that you're always going to be in that constant storing mode because you always have a high amount of insulin in order to deal with those carbs and sugar that's constantly coming in. Instead, you want to eat 2 or 3 larger meals and eat it to satiety so you don't have to feel the need to eat those multiple meals throughout the day. This allows your insulin levels to dip back down between those meals, which is what we want when we're looking to tap into those fat burning mechanisms. So stop eating too much carbs. Don't just cut calories if you're not metabolically flexible. Stop using artificial sweeteners. Make sure you're eating enough and stop snacking throughout the day. If you do those things, I can almost guarantee that you're gonna break your weight loss plateau, and it's not gonna be a matter of if you're gonna lose weight, it's only a matter of when. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my lean body blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.